Ding. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. I have to admit, beyond all my mercy and concern for the sake of innocence among a majority of ignorance, God was right. This is the era of the wicked and there is no saving them. I have submitted to the fact that this era of man is too lost to save, and it is not that they are just led astray by spirits with evil intentions. It's not that their habits have become the fatal cancer that dooms their society from survival and salvation. It's the very people to themselves that are their own problem, and this truly is the time of Enoch. These people are the ones that was spoken of in the chapters of Enoch, which means they said that God promised he would never flood the earth again. Well, if this is the time Enoch foretold of, well, then technically I haven't flooded it yet. And these people today fit the description of those mentioned in Enoch. They've closed their hearts to God. They no longer hold any respect for him. They fill their minds with lies and push away and deny God, reject his mercy and all that jazz. However, I also don't think that I should just walk away in defeat, throw my hands up and condemn them as lost. No, these people are too dangerous to be allowed to continue. Their technological advancements and ambitions endanger the very foundations of my creation. They hold no hesitation to common sense. I remember the many battles against the forces of the unholy and the methods those demons used on those they targeted. And I see that same behavior as a habit, a method used by everyone to overcome or stands in their way. The method of forcing a person to question the very foundations of their beliefs, leading them astray to believe false testimonies that the demons claim are true. All of it serves the purpose of weakening your beliefs so they can manipulate you, weaken your strengths and illusion you to do what they want. I look at the state of the world and it describes society too closely to be coincidence. When you think, as Abraham had suggested, that it couldn't be all of them, that there must be someone among them that is righteous, and not like what I see everywhere else. I find a man, a single man, who proclaims false truths and uses all of these ways, just as the one whom they all cry and seek help to be free from, who they blame all their problems upon, this one man acts and thinks just as he does. So it is not just him that is the problem. It's all of them, and the problem is embedded within their habits and the ways they have justified a right and wrong, disregarding logic and common sense that may say otherwise. They do not hold these beliefs to themselves, but force others to believe as they believe, using these unholy methods and concepts to break their beliefs, manipulate them to believe the status quo. And of course, if these truly are the times that was prophesied to come to pass by, Enoch and not a tale of a time that came before him, then as usual, the scriptures of Enoch did not list the details that explains the reasons behind God's decision to flood the earth and start over. Think I do not see you, fallen one, unclean and unholy thing that seeks to warp my view of the world in order to force me to believe your version of Enoch's tale rather than my own past life, memories and experiences. You don't understand who you're manipulating. Do you know who the fuck I am? Do you know what is said that I will become? What I will accomplish? Well, you can be the next one to experience what happens when you cross that line to force me into believing your false narrative of me, rather than accepting that I'm standing right here in front of you that defies your belief because I'm not what they said I was. Now suffer the wrath of God for your false expectations and wicked ways. Watch as I exceed your expectations and show you something even worse than this fairy tale. Satan, you proclaim to believe that I am. You think you've seen evil. You haven't seen shit yet.
In a world where sacrifice often goes unnoticed, I stood at the crossroads of duty and despair. questioning how I could fight for a system that condemned me for my efforts to protect it. The very people I sought to shield cast stones in my direction, blinded by a fear that turned them against their own savior. I often look back, haunted by another life, one filled with memories of persecution. They called me the Son of Man, but in their eyes I was merely a target, a scapegoat for their pain. Each recollection weighed heavily on my soul as I relived the moments of my trial, dragged through the streets toward my inevitable demise. Those memories screamed of tragedy. I could feel the rough stones beneath my feet, the cold air thick with the scent of rage and sorrow. The faces in the crowd varied. Some wore expressions of regret, their eyes reflecting the torment of their choices. Others, however, were filled with such fury that they could do nothing but spit and hurl rotten fruit at me, their anger unbridled and raw. Among them, one figure stood out, the old woman whose frail body seemed to tremble with rage and grief. She approached me, her eyes blazing with accusation. "You filthy Philistine," she spat, blaming me for the loss of her son. With each insult, she unleashed her pain, and I felt the sting of her words as they hit me harder than any stone. Behind her, the Roman soldiers laughed, their mockery echoing in the chaos. They saw my cause as nothing more than a foolish attempt to change the world through self-sacrifice. But what they failed to understand was that my decision stemmed not from innocence, but from a profound sense of justice. It was not the guilt of the condemned that mattered, but the opportunity for forgiveness, an act that could redeem a life at the cost of my own. I knew that the tide of anger would not cease until they had their prize. They had already betrayed one of their own, just as they had done with Judas. To prevent further harm, I made the ultimate choice. I would trade my life for that of a guilty man, believing that his freedom could spark a glimmer of hope amid the darkness. As I stood there, I realized that my desire to spare just one life was all that mattered. They would see my sacrifice as an affront to their pride, but in truth, it was a desperate plea for mercy, a final act of love in a world so filled with hate. In the days that followed, they sought to break me. They hurled insults, hoping to see me beg for release, promising that my suffering would end if only I surrendered my will. Yet, I stood firm, accepting the pain that came with my choice. Each whip cracked against my skin, a reminder of what I had chosen to endure. And still, I would not yield. I felt the agony seep into my bones, but my resolve only strengthened. I gritted my teeth against the torment, knowing that my sacrifice was not in vain. I would not plead for mercy, for I understood the weight of my decision. As history unfolded around me, the echoes of my suffering became a testament to the power of love, the strength of forgiveness, and the unbreakable spirit that could emerge from the depths of despair. And so, I continued on, carrying the burden of my choice to the very end, a silent witness to the unfolding story of redemption that would emerge from the shadows of my fate.
I shall have to start over. I must flood the earth.